In the summer of 1816, the residents of Vermont woke up to a sight that defied the laws of God and nature. 6 inches of snow blanketing their cornfields in the middle of June. They called it 1800 and froze to death. But as the birds froze mid-flight and the sun turned an eerie, bruised purple, a young surveyor named Elias Thorne discovered something buried beneath the permafrost of a Massachusetts valley, something that had been hidden since the days of the first pilgrims, and something the young United States government was desperate to keep secret. The sun rose over Boston, but it brought no warmth. It was a pale, sickly disk, obscured by a high-altitude haze that no wind could blow away. Elias Thorne wiped the frost from his window pane, his breath blooming in a thick cloud. It was June 4th. By noon, the temperature didn't rise, it plummeted. What the Thornes didn't know, what no one in the young republic knew, was that a year prior, a mountain named Tambora had vanished in a pillar of fire on the other side of the globe. The ash was now a shroud over the world. As the poverty year deepened, hunger turned neighbors into strangers. Elias was hired by a mysterious land speculator from Washington, D.C., a man named Silas Vane, to survey a stretch of land in the Berkshires that supposedly held a thermal spring. While digging a boundary trench through a frozen peat bog, Elias's shovel struck something that didn't sound like stone. It was a metallic ring, resonant and deep. As he cleared the black earth and ice, he revealed a structure of polished obsidian and copper, inscribed with a geometry that predated any colonial settlement. It was warm to the touch. In a world that was freezing to death, Elias Thorne had found a source of impossible heat. While the rest of New England looked like a lunar wasteland, the area surrounding the excavation site, now dubbed Site 7, began to transform. The obsidian structure wasn't just warm, it was breathing. A rhythmic hum vibrated through the soles of Elias's boots, a low-frequency pulse that seemed to sync with the earth itself. Within a week, the frost retreated for a mile in every direction. In the middle of the coldest July in recorded history, apple trees near the site began to bloom out of season. It was a lush green oasis in a white desert. But the price of this miracle was paranoia. Federal soldiers dressed in tattered uniforms from the War of 1812 arrived to cordon off the valley. No one was allowed in, and more importantly, no one was allowed out. The secret was too big to stay buried. By August, rumors of the everlasting fire reached the British outposts in Canada. To the British Crown, a United States that could grow crops in a volcanic winter was a United States that would soon dominate the globe. One moonless night, the silence of the frozen woods was shattered by the crack of musket fire. A group of elite British saboteurs descended upon the valley. Elias was jolted awake by the smell of sulfur and gunpowder. He rushed to the pit, but he didn't find soldiers fighting. He found the machine reacting. The obsidian plates were spinning, glowing a violent violet. As a British officer struck the machine with a heavy iron pry bar, the pulse stopped. The silence that followed was more terrifying than the gunfire. The heat vanished instantly. The apple trees shriveled in seconds, their petals turning to black ice before they hit the ground. Elias realized with horror that the machine was a delicate instrument left by a civilization that understood the Earth's tectonic cycles. By touching it with violence, they had broken the seal. Beneath their feet, a deep, guttural roar began to echo. The ground didn't just shake, it groaned. "We didn't just find a way to stay warm, Silas," Elias replied, looking at the cracks spreading across the valley floor. "We just woke up the mountain."